Hello suppliers, welcome back, and this is another tutorial that is kind of an update to my other video tutorial that I did on baking maps for the food can. So 2020, it looks like I've been getting some emails from students, and I wanted to get this rushed out, and I had no idea. I'm sorry for the confusion, but those updates, I had no idea. So there are some changes, and I'll take you through those changes really quick, and hopefully you guys can get this all squared away and feel confident in moving forward with texturing. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. So this again is a video tutorial that is addended to the other video tutorial. There are changes to Substance Painter 2020 that were not that I was using Substance Painter 2018 because of space issues that I had on my computer. So I went and downloaded and did some research, and now we got things going. So here we go. So the first thing you need to do is you need to duplicate your low poly can, and it needs to look like this. Okay. Now this is what I got. This is what I created when I was making those tutorials. So you should have exactly the same thing. Okay. So for this to work, your high poly has to fit within the low poly. Okay. So if I hit the 3 key, excuse me, not the 3 key, the 4 key, you can see the low poly and the high poly are occupying the same space. Okay. For this to work, you have to delete by type history and freeze transformations. Make sure you click on poly modeling, delete by type history, freeze transformations. Okay, and then click on your low poly and hit the 5 key. I'm going to turn off the high poly for now, just so I don't select it accidentally. And the high poly needs to be triangulated, so go to Mesh, Triangulate. Mesh, Triangulate. That's what you're going to send out. Now I need to delete by type history again. Okay, so I need to delete the history to clean it up. And then you can go File and make sure only the low poly can is selected. Only the low poly can, meaning that if your high poly is selected too, it will not bake properly. So some of you need to actually click on the can, hit the W key, and move it. Okay, make sure there's nothing underneath there. If there is, put it in a layer and get it out of the way. We only want to export the low poly. So go ahead and go File. With that selected, Export Selection, and Option Box. We want to export it as an OBJ. Okay? That is the same thing as an object. Okay? Or a 3D object, or whatever you're hearing or seeing when you send it out. It is an OBJ. They're one of the same. So go ahead and export selection, rename it. I've already done all this stuff. Okay, so export, rename it, make sure you put triangulate on the end, low poly, and you should be good to go. Okay, now you'll turn that off, and then your high poly should look like this. And let me put wireframe on there so you can get a look at it. So that's what it should look like. Okay, alright, great. And then you'll send that out by itself. Make sure there's nothing underneath, right? And send that out. Make sure you delete by type history, freeze transformations before you do that, and send that out as well. Okay, now we're ready to open up and the new Substance Painter. Disk space, telling me my disk space is too low, but let's just try to get this done. Driver issues outdated. Yeah. It's still working fine. Alright, so open this up. Alright. Okay, so the new thing. So I open up 2020 and about. Okay, so this is my version, just to make sure you guys see that. Version 2020.2.1, 6.2.1. That's what I have. And I went under Help, About. That's how you can check if you want it to make sure you have the same build that I have. Okay, if it's not, it should be close enough. File new. This is the big changes, making everybody crazy here. So we want PBR metallic roughness algorithmic selected. We need to select our file, which is my food can low poly, and I'm going to click open. I'm going to turn this to 2048, DirectX, nothing changed here. Compute tangent space per fragment. This is usually for Unity or for Unreal 4. We're not going to worry about that. Just make sure that's unchecked. Make sure you use UV tile workflow and always click convert UV tiles into individual texture sets legacy. We don't need to have that on, so make sure you uncheck that. Okay, we don't need to add any other materials. That's it. So click OK. And my object comes in. Alright, so that's good. Cool. Alright, then the next thing that I'm going to do, let's go quickly on this, is check everything. Make sure everything's where it needs to be. Okay. And let me go back a little bit, move that around, holding the Alt key. Okay, so you can see I got that set up. And this is set up too. So 1 is the label, so that's working. 2 is the top rim, that's working. That's exactly what I want. Baking maps. Okay, so I'm going to select the lower one. Okay, I'm going to go into this guy right here, texture settings. Okay, and make sure that we have everything set up. So it's named 1002. Description, nothing. Size 2048. And scroll down. Everything else is fine. I haven't changed anything. Okay, that's just defaulted. Bake maps. I'm going to turn off IDE. The rest are good. Okay, the rest are okay. And change this to 2048. High definition meshes, yes. Okay, and we're going to click on the food can high poly. Now, maybe you should name your food can low poly and food can high poly. If that's the issue, rename them the way I have them named when you export them. So food can low poly, food can high poly. Okay, click on the food can high poly for this one, and then open. So now I've got my food can high poly. Alright, so everything looks good. I haven't changed anything else. You can see that. Nothing else has changed. And bake selected textures. Okay, it's going to bake all the textures. It's telling me that it's going through 102, 1002, and then it's going through 1001. Okay, so since Painter is 100%. Okay, great. Now we're done with that. And it looks perfect. Okay. Top and bottom. Alright. So now we're going to go in here. And I'm going to select, let's see, the label. And I'm going to click on materials, highlight that. I'm going to search metal. Okay, just like that, metal. And I'm looking for painted or steel painted. There it is, steel painted right there. Steel painted. You can type that in too if you want to. And that should come right up. There we go, steel painted, and there it is. So I'm going to drag and drop that into the layer. Okay, that's done. Completely done now. And then the top, just real quick, we go to 1002. Okay, and then we're going to get out of here and just delete that filter. And then we're going to go into aluminum. Okay, aluminum. Okay, and we're looking for aluminum pure. Okay, where are you? Aluminum brushed. Aluminum pure, right there. That's it. Aluminum pure. You can type that in too. I didn't know the last part of it. Aluminum pure. There it is. Drag and drop it into 2. So drag it out into that layer, and there it is. You're completely finished. And then what you want to do is you want to go to File and then Save As. If you see what I see, and you can see I've already got this tested. Let's type in material like that. Save it. And then we're going to go to File, Export. Export texture, not mesh, texture. Okay. Now things have changed in here too as well. So we've got those two check marked. That's great. Global settings, output directory. Where do you want to export it? Let's just go back into my folder, documents, Maya, projects, and module 1, and then source images. Now there it is. So you can see that's going into that. Select folder. Okay. And so you can see that's where it's going, and you need to know where your project folder is and where source images folder, and you need to make sure it's selected and put in there. PBR metallic roughness from cache. V-Ray. Let's see, whatever. PBR metallic roughness. That looks correct. Okay. So PBR metallic roughness. So I'm assuming that's as close as we came before, what we had before. PNG, 8 bits. Size based on each texture set size, yes. Dilation infinite, dilation diffusion, or no padding pass through. I've done that before too as well. So I'll do that one. If I did it in another video, dilation diffusion, it's just how I felt that day. It's whatever. Doesn't really matter at this point. So I'm going to do no padding, export shaders and perimeters. I think we're okay. And then output templates. There's some differences here. Arnold AI Legacy. That's what we want to click. Okay. That's good. Gives us all the maps we need. List of exports. It's telling us what's going to be exported. We're not going to use the emissive or the height map, but we are going to be use the base color, metallic, normal, and roughness. So we're getting everything we need. Okay. All right. So that's it. And then export, and it's going to export those for us. It looks a little different than what we had before. Okay. I can't tell if it's finished or not. This is weird. Okay. Export successfully finished, so I'm assuming that it's done. Alright. Okay. And you can save your settings, I guess, if it works. I'm going to close that out. That's it. So then follow the other tutorial on how to apply these textures to, I don't think that's going to change, apply these textures in Maya. Alright, sorry for the mix-up and the confusion, but hopefully this clears everything up so you guys can get moving on. It took me 13 minutes, a little over 14 minutes to explain it, but it should take you less time to get it right. So again, no worries. I'll put this out in the announcements, and I'll try to get an email out. Hopefully you guys are opening your emails so you don't miss this. So again, just a couple changes, not too many really. The biggest one was triangulating your low poly. I already told you that in the other video, though some of you haven't done that and got caught on that one. Deleting by type history and freeze transformations is a big one too before you export it out. And then when you import it in, so just follow this very carefully. If you need to pause it, please feel free to. And take care, and I'll see you guys soon, and I'll see you in Module 3. Okay, bye-bye.